The Giants of Albion are ancient towering beings, said by the Alliance druid to have been placed there by the Old Ones to guard against invaders. Whether myth or truth, these giants still roam the misty cliffs, gleefully smashing ships with thrown boulders. Druid wields mysterious influence over them. The most feared is Bologs, a dim-witted giant worshipped as a god by primitive tribes. His only word is his name, which he shouts before flattening a high-health landing party with a rock. His twin Cactor is marginally smarter and can understand druid speech. Cactor famously battled the giants Dong and Meadong for centuries, their alt stones becoming the legendary menhirs dotting Albion's rugged landscape. Not all giants are mindless brutes, and Alagranzor the Horrible is proof. Known simply as out by his Reichlander companions, this towering mercenary was hired by imperial merchants to guard caravans along the World Edge Mountains. Dressed in mismatched imperial ornaments with braided beard and a battle sides drinking stain in hand, Al looks terrifying, but is strangely gentle, giving food, grog and company, and he would rather talk than kill. Yet Al hates cruelty. After seeing night goblins torture a trapped bear, he crushed the entire band into paste. Since then, he has made his habit to squash Greenskin whenever he finds them. Even the dwarf ranger Silvergreen, sent to hunt him, became friendly after Al simply offered him a pint first. Giants roam seeking battle, food and strong liquors. They are described as enormous, coarse and dull-witted beings compared even to the ogres. Ogre tyrants may try to recruit giants into their tribes through food, drink, promises of an easy life, or intimidation tactics. Giants that join a tribe are often branded with the tribe's symbol to instill tribal pride and remind others of their alliance. However, in the chaos of battle, ogres may forget these alliances and be compelled to fight or even eat a giant, as it is a dream for every ogre to boast of defeating such a formidable foe. Giants often charge mindlessly into the enemy front lines. They either crush the enemy with their foot or sweep them with their giant clubs. Little Gork was once Big Lug, a lumbering giant who joined his greenskin mates in raiding a dwarf brewery. During the attack, a stone from a grudge thrower smashed him square in the face. Somehow the blow failed to kill him, but he knocked away what few wits he had left. When Big Lug awoke, he was utterly convinced it was Gork himself, the brutally cunning god of the Greenskins. To prove it, he smeared his hands and feet with green paint and began acting like a living divine foot. Now known as Little Gork, he delights in leaping up and down on any known greenskin unlucky enough to cross his path. Norscan Giants are towering, brutish creatures that haunt the frozen mountains and rocky wastes of the far north. Drawn naturally to cold climates, violence and endless feasting, they often march beside Norscan warbands seeking the favor of the dark gods. These giants care little for discipline or strategy. They follow raiders because battlefields provide plentiful meat, strong drink and opportunities for destruction. When combat begins, a Norscan giant crashes into the enemy formations, crushing soldiers beneath its feet and smashing armored warriors aside with overwhelming strength. Though barely capable of following commands, he possesses enough cunning to recognize allies from enemies. To the tribes of Norsca, such a creature is less a soldier than a living engine, unpredictable, terrifying and always hungry for fresh corpses. Bilious thunderguff is a chaos giant blessed by Nurgle, who has weaponized his chronic indigestion into noxious gale force emissions. His foul stench is so overwhelming that even the chaos worshippers of rival gods avoid him, and his presence alone can clear a battlefield. Though shunned by most, his destructive power earns him a place among Nurgle's forces. His noxious blast can scatter cavalry and rot wood to mulch with a touch. In Bretonia, Thunderguff is notorious for breaking sieges and humiliating knights unable to withstand his rancid assaults. Duke Bohemond of Baston is even vowed to slay him in the lady's name, but few believe he stands a chance. Giant trolls are colossal, freakish variants of standard trolls, so massive they blur the line between troll and giant. Towering above ogres and rivaling real giants in size, they retain all the grotesque features of their kin: thick hides, brutish strength, and terrifying regeneration. Their origins are murky. Some claim they're the result of chaos mutations. Others believe they're ancient throwbacks to a primordial troll breed. Too stupid to speak and too dangerous to ignore, they're often driven by pure anger and rage. On the battlefield, they're living siege engines, smashing fortification and devouring foes whole. Chaos Giants are monstrous humanoid of immense size, transformed by the dark powers of chaos into creatures with insatiable thirst for violence. Unlike their uncorrupted kin, these giants thrive on destruction, eagerly trampling foes under their massive feet or breaking enemy lines with brute force. Drawn to followers of the dark gods, they find ample corpses amidst the carnage. While possessing some intelligence to distinguish friend from foe, Chaos Giants lack understanding of tactics and strategy, focusing instead on killing and feasting. In battle, they may grab enemies for later meals, or wield massive weapons like jugstones or tree trunks, leaving devastation in their wake.
Listen up, bloods! To us greenskins, a giant is a loud stomping heap of muscle and madness, bringing a whole lot of smashiness to the fight. When the big fellas charge in, it's a right to see, crushing foes underfoot and making us cheer like mad. Take little Gork for instance, got a rock to the face from a grudge thrower and now thinks he's Gork himself. He paints himself green before every scrap, proper silly, but we love it. Giants don't just fight for us, they like the grub and boozy treats we share. And if a goblin or two goes missing during the chaos, just part of the greenskin way it is. Battle's rough and tumble, but we wouldn't have it any other way. Wah!
Captured by the Chaos Dwarves to trickery, trade or brute force, these giants are dragged into the forge of the Dawizar and remade as living siege engines. Iron and bronze plates are nailed, riveted, fused and bolted into their flesh and bones, turning agony itself into armor. Many die during the process, but those that survive are left mutilated, half-mad, and almost unstoppable. Their bodies are branded with the runes of Ashut, marking them as property of the Chaos Dwarves. Used by the Legion of Asgore, they smash walls, crush cavalry, and tear through enemy ranks where ordinary war machines would be too slow. In the bleak north, the Curs'd Ettin stands as one of Chaos' cruelest punishments. These towering two-headed abominations were once men of Norsca, descendants of the traitor Jorund, who dare betray the dark gods. For his pride, his bloodline was cursed. Kinsmen fused to kinsmen, body twisted, soul divided, and mind forever at war with itself. Each head fights for control of the same monstrous flesh, making the Ettin terrifyingly unpredictable in battle. Though they resemble giants, Curs'd Ettin are far more hateful, cunning and warped. Shunned by all, they haunt mountains, ruins and caverns, despising the living, and above all, the gods who made them. In ancient times before Settra and the mortuary cult, legends spoke of colossal beings created by Nehekara's gods to protect their lands from evil demons. As Nehekaran priests advanced in their craft, they began binding the souls of great warriors into these statues, allowing them to awaken and defend against intruders without further incantations. Armed with massive weapons such as giant bows and swords, Necrolith Colossi are formidable foes in battle, capable of devastating armored knights and their steeds with a single blow. Their thunderous footfalls instill terror as they crush enemies beneath their weight and send bodies flying, embodying the relentless might of Nehekara, ancient guardians.